Sorry I'm late. So today we are focusing on legs and balance. It's going to be a lot of play today. One of my legs is down here. There we go. It's going to be a lot of play today. So our general theme is to be able to let go of the need for control. They say that part of our yoga journey, or almost our entire yoga journey, is learning to let go and learning to be able to listen to the instructor or to your body. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be working with a little bit today. We are going to be doing some really challenging but fun balance poses. So again, this is to play. I hope you're laughing along. I hope you're having a good time. So that is the goal. Let's get started. We're going to get started on our backs today. So coming to your mat, bringing your feet out as wide as your mat, and then lowering your back down. And start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And I'll let you know when to start your playlist. But for now, I just want you to get quiet and feel your shoulders, your hips, your heels sink into the mat. Maybe close your eyes here if you're comfortable. And start to bring your awareness to your breath. Noticing your hands rising and falling with each inhale and exhale. Just allowing yourself to be right here. Let go of any expectations you have for this class or for yourself or the day. Allowing our thoughts to come in, but just as easily allowing our thoughts to go. Not trying to control them, but not paying attention, not bringing awareness to them. I know it's easier said than done. So if you start to wrap yourself in story or your thoughts, just bring your awareness back to the rising and falling of your chest and your belly. We'll just pause here for a few moments. I wanted to read to you a daily affirmation that I read this morning that I thought was perfect for this class. And it says, yoga is an invitation to get into the canoe of your practice and flow down the river. You may go deep into uncharted waters. You will surely encounter challenges and delights along the way. But first, you must get into that canoe and let go. Let your practice be a refuge from the need to control. Get out of the driver's seat for a while and enjoy the scenery. Let the river of yoga take you where it will. If you hit white water, stay in the canoe and keep paddling. When you enter calm pools, do the same. Then start to place your hands down by your sides and walk your heels in so your feet are making a number 11. Your legs are nice and parallel to one another. From here, we can start our playlist if you have that. And then start to take your right foot up towards the ceiling, flexing the toes back towards your face. And then keeping our belly hugged in towards our spine here, start to slowly lower the heel down towards the mat, but don't let the heel drop down, just hover it there, maybe a few inches off the mat. And then slowly on your inhale, start to bring the toes back up. And then exhale, slowly bring them back down. You should start feeling this in your lower abs, activating the core. And just do this 2 more times on your own breath. Going nice and slow, really engaging the core. All right, and then bring your hands either around your thigh or interlaced behind your leg. Start to bend your knees super heavy, and then bring your toes back towards your face so the sole of your foot is up towards the ceiling. Feel the compression in your low back. And then start to slowly straighten the leg, pointing and flexing the toes. Doing a couple ankle rolls to the right and then to the left. And then just pause in stillness here. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring your knee closer to your chest, just until you can feel that edge. You can feel a little discomfort in the back of the leg, warming up the hamstrings. Good morning. Happy Saturday. We're working today. Start to take your hands away from your leg, place your right foot back down, and take your left leg up towards the ceiling. So sole of the foot is up. On your exhale, slowly lower it down, hovering that foot. Inhale is just as slow, bring it back up. Exhale, bring it back down. Keep going, 2 more just like this. And then once you're back up, find your hands around your legs, whatever way you'd like. Have a heavy bend in your knee so you can feel your low back on the mat, and bring the sole of the foot up. And then start to straighten the leg. You can still have a micro bend in the leg as well. Just make it more straight than bent, and start to point and flex the toes on the left side. Do a couple ankle rolls to the left and then to the right. And then pause here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly bring the knee closer to your chest. One side might feel completely different than the other. And then releasing that leg down, releasing the arms by your sides. From here, press through your heels, press through your hands, and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring them back down. Hips come back down to the mat. Windshield wiper the legs from right to left. And then come back up to bridge prep. From here, press into the hands, into the heels, lift the hips. Exhale, slowly lower down. We'll do that one more time, but pausing in bridge. So inhale, press your hips up really high towards the ceiling, and then pause, come back to your breath. If you want a little bit more here, start to tuck your shoulder blades underneath, and then bind your hands where your pinkies are pressing into the mat so you can lift your hips a little bit higher. 2 more breaths here. Breathe deep in through the belly. Exhale, release. 1 more deep breath in. If you have that bind, release it. On your exhale, slowly lower down, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around the back of your thighs and just start to rock and roll forward and back along the spine. I told you we were going to have fun today. Once you're on your second or your third rock and roll, come up to a seated position. From here, our legs are crisscross applesauce or out in front of you, whatever works for you. Start to take your right fingertips over to the right side of your mat. Inhale the left arm up and over towards the right. You should feel a big stretch in your left side body here. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. And then start to look up and under your left bicep, pulling your chest up. And then slowly make your way back up to seated. Tuck your left fingertips onto the mat as you inhale your right arm up and over towards the left. Big stretch through the right side body here. Try to sink your hips into the mat and only reach from the upper hip all the way to the fingers. And then on your next inhale, look up and under your right bicep, pulling your chest up. And then come back up to center. We'll start to walk forward with our hands. So scoot your hips back a little bit. And then whatever position you're in, start to slowly walk down. And then start to walk yourself back up. If you have your legs crossed, go the other way. So my left leg needs to be in front this time. And then same thing, pull your hips back towards the back of your mat as you walk forward. Slowly work your way back up and then flip over your knees, come to tabletop position. So in our tabletop position, our shoulders are above our wrists, hips are above our knees. There's space in between each of our fingers. The tops of our feet are down, planted into the mat. Hug your belly in toward your spine and just puff up slightly through the shoulder blades. So you're just pressing a little bit deeper into your mat and lifting through your chest. On your inhale, drop your belly down towards the mat and look up. On your exhale, tuck your chin in towards your spine, round in through the upper back. Inhale drops you back down, look up. Exhale to round, tuck your chin in. Inhale for cow, drop yourself back down. Exhale for cat. And I invite you to just close your eyes and keep doing this for 4 more breaths. You can add any organic movement in, maybe swaying the hips from left to right, or doing circles, warming up the wrists. And then when you're done, come back to neutral tabletop spine. Start to walk your wrists out towards the side of the mat. So your fingers are over to the side of the mat, and then your thumbs are facing forward. And just start to pulse forward and back nice and slow. And then doing circles, so bringing our hips forward and back. If this is a little too uncomfortable for you, just bring your hands back to normal, where your fingers are facing forward, continuing to do those hip circles. And then go the opposite way. Might feel a little funky at first. All right, and then pause back through tabletop. Take your right toes back behind you, so your right leg is nice and straight, and then start to pulse forward and backwards. And then next time you come down, pause here, really press the heel down towards the mat. And then come back up, take your right toes out to the side. So the outer edge of your right foot is pressing down into the floor. And this might feel a little bit funky, but start to shift your hips back towards your left heel or towards the back of the mat. So you can come and sit all the way back if you want, or you can stay on your forearms or just on your hands upright. You can also pull slightly. We'll just stay here for a few moments. Whichever variation you're in, just make sure your back is nice and flat. And then bring the right knee back in to tabletop position. Do a few cat-cows just to release that side. And then when you're ready, tuck the left toes behind you and start to pulse forward and back. And then next time you come down, pausing here, really dragging the heel down. Come back up and take the left foot out to the left side of the mat, taking the outer edge of the foot, pressing that down into the floor. Again, we have a lot of different options here, sitting all the way back, coming onto our forearms, or sitting upright. And then come back up to tabletop pose. Take your knees out as wide as your mat. Big toes to touch. Sink your hips down towards your heels as you walk your arms forward. Your head comes down, forehead comes down towards the mat. This is an awesome pose if the breath starts to become choppy in your practice today, or you just need to rest. Feel free to always come back to child's pose. Make your way back up to table. Tuck the toes and come back to downward facing dog by sending the hips up and back. And then maybe walking the feet back slightly. Take a deep breath in here. Deep breath out as you pull the chest down towards your thighs. Start to bend your right knee, really heavy, picking up the right heel. And then switch it out with the left one, walking our dog here. And then pausing in stillness when you're ready. Taking 2 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. Take an inhale as you look up towards your hands. And on your exhale, slowly walk to the top. So once we're at the top of our mat, take your feet out as wide as the mat. Have a heavy bend in your knees. Let your head hang down so your tailbone is lifted up towards the ceiling. And then pause here. You can also take a bind around your elbows. If the elbows are too much on your hamstrings, just release the arms down and bend your knees a little heavier. And then from here, take your fingertips to your shins. Inhale for a halfway lift. Press your shoulders up so they're the height of your hips. And then exhale, forward fold. Take your left fingertips in front of your face or in between your feet. Inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling, peel the chest away. And then exhale, take your right fingertips down where the left was. Left arm comes up. We'll just do this 3 more times. So come back down. Really use your breath to movement here. Inhaling up, exhaling to switch. Inhaling back up. Exhale, switch it out. 1 more. Exhale, right hand comes down, left arm lifts. Exhale to release. Come back to that forward fold, either binding our arms, boxing out our arms, or releasing our hands down to the mat. And then start to slowly walk your feet in so they're hip width distance apart. You can find that they're hip width distance apart if you take both fists down to the mat and your big toes match where your pinkies are. And then on your next inhale, bend your knees, slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain pose. Head comes up last. Roll the shoulder blades back behind you, palms face forward. From here, start to close your eyes. And then starting to build with this pose. So starting at our feet, have even weight between your feet. Feel grounded in your heels. Lift through the kneecaps, engage the quads, engage the glutes, the hamstrings. And then bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your low back, and tuck your tailbone under just slightly. So your low belly is engaged here. And then lift through the chest, pull the shoulders back. Pause here. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. Start to open the eyes. Inhale, circle sweep the arms. I've got to change my camera here. Inhale, bring your hands back down to heart. There we go. Inhale, arms circle sweep up, reach tall, look up. And then exhale, hands come back down to heart. Bring your arms out in front of you so your palms face up. On your inhale, bring your hands to your shoulders. And then on your exhale, take your elbows away from each other. Inhale, bring them back forward. And then exhale them forward. Inhale, palms come to shoulders. Exhale, elbows out wide. Inhale, come back through. And then exhale, palms come back up. One more just like that. Inhale, shoulders. Exhale, wide. Inhale, back together. Exhale, forward. Inhale, arms circle sweep up, reach tall. And then exhale, dive forward with a flat back, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Press your hands against your shins. Lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift back up for halfway lift. Make sure that your gaze is down towards your mat rather than up so that your neck is nice and elongated here. It's not doing any of the work. Start to slowly fold back down and then bend into your knees. Arms circle sweep up, reach tall. Find your hands together other than your pointer finger. Your biceps are framing your ears nice and tight here. Hug your belly in towards your spine and reach over towards the right side of the room. Inhale, come back through the center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, come back through the center, release the bind, reach up. And then exhale, flip the palms, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, press your hands against your shins. Exhale, plant your hands down, step back to a plank pose. So in our high plank, we're pressing through our hands, lifting the chest, lifting the shoulders. And then start to slowly lower your knees down. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower with control, all the way down to your mat. So your tops of your feet are onto the mat. Shoulders or hands are underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, hug your belly in, hug your elbows in towards your ribs, and peel the chest away from the mat. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lift for cobra, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, come back to table. Take an inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. One deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release through the mouth. Inhale, take a look up towards your hands. Slowly walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain pose. Head comes up last. Palms face forward. Inhale, arms circle sweep up, reach tall. Bend your knees, flip your palms, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, press your hands. Exhale, fold forward, step back with your right foot, and then drop your right knee down towards the mat. Keeping the back toes tucked. When you're ready, lift the chest, and arms come back up. And then exhale, sink and pause here. Make sure your left knee is tracking over your left ankle. It's not going further. Really press through the hips. One more deep breath in. Exhale, plant your hands down. Pop this back knee off of the mat and slowly walk. Take a couple steps up to forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, arms circle, sweep up, reach tall. Hands come back down to center on your exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms circle sweep. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, left foot steps back this time, left knee grounds. When you're ready, arms come up, chest lifts. Exhale to sink and soften. Check in with your right knee, make sure it's tracking over your right ankle, and press the hips forward. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, plant your hands down, pop that back knee up, take a couple steps up to forward fold. Take your your feet out as wide as the mat. Have a heavy bend in your knees here and drop your head down. And then slowly walk your feet back into forward fold. Hips width distance here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain pose. Inhale, arms circle, sweep up, reach. Exhale, flip the palms, dive forward, plant the hands down, step back to plank. Staying in our high plank here, looking between the hands, take an inhale. And on your exhale, shoot your hips up and back for downward facing dog. So our gaze comes back about halfway into the mat. On your inhale, look forward, ripple forward to a plank. And then on your exhale, pike your hips up and back, down dog. Inhale brings you forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, gaze comes back, hips come back. From here, inhale, look forward. Exhale, slowly make your way to the top. Inhale for a halfway lift. This time, bring your hands to your heart. Your thumbs rest on your chest. Elbows are out wide here. Shoulder blades are together. One more deep breath in. Make your back work here. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into your knees. Slowly roll all the way up. Inhale, arms circle, circle, sweep, reach tall. Exhale, hands come back down to heart. Inhale, arms circle, sweep. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel free to come back to hands at heart. Exhale, fold forward, step back to a plank. Drop the knees here or keep them lifted. Inhale, shift forward. Hug the elbows in towards your spine as you lower down. Untuck the toes so the tops of the feet are on the mat. Inhale, press up. Exhale, come forward, and then release your right temple to the mat. Keeping the hands where they are. Inhale to press yourself back up to cobra. Exhale, left temple to the mat. Inhale, come back through to cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, push yourself back up to table, and then to downward facing dog. All right. Inhale, take a look forward. Exhale, slowly walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, slowly roll all the way up. All right, coming to mountain pose, we're going to come into chair now. So start to sink your hips down and back. And then the arms can come to your hips. They can come to heart center, or they can come by your ears. Whichever position you're in, make sure you look down at your toes and you can see them. If you can't see your toes, start to shift your hips back further towards the back of the mat. Maybe sink the hips a little lower here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank pose. Drop the knees or keep them lifted. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale for cobra, peel the chest away. Exhale for downward facing dog. Coming into three-legged Tadasana, three-legged down dog. Start to press through your left foot as you lift your right leg up. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, bend your knee in close to your nose and then pop it down onto the mat. If it doesn't make it between your hands, start to shimmy your foot forward or just grab your foot and press it up. So we're coming into crescent lunge here. Our back heel is lifted off the mat. If yours isn't, you're probably pressing too much weight into your heel, so either pop it off or just walk your back foot a little bit further back. When you're ready, lift the chest, lift the belly, arms come up, and then exhale, sink and soften here. Inhale, reach through the fingers. Exhale, sink and pause. We're going to come into some dips here. So start to bend your left knee, bringing it down closer to the mat to hover. And then on our inhale, we're going to press back up. On our exhale, we're going to sink low. Inhale, press back up, building heat here. Exhale, sink back down, pause here. Inhale, press back up to crescent. Exhale, arms come forward, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, ripples you forward to a plank, drop your knees or keep them lifted. Inhale, shift forward, exhale, lower. Flip the toes, inhale for cobra, press the mat away. Exhale, tuck the toes, come back to table, and then bring your knees out as wide as your mat. Bring your toes to touch and come back to child's pose. Right now is a good water break if you need to take one. All right, inhale, come back to table. Exhale for downward facing dog. Coming into three-legged dog. On the left side, start to press through the right foot. Lift the left leg high. On your exhale, bend your knee, bring it in close to your nose, and then step it through. Again, helping this left foot come forward a little bit more. Keeping the right heel lifted off of the mat. When you're ready, lift the belly, lift the chest, crescent pose. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, sink and soften here. Get nice and stable before we come into those dips. So if you're feeling like you're on a tightrope or you're really wobbly, just walk your left foot out towards the left side of your mat a little bit more. From here, start to bend the right knee, hover it down towards the mat. Inhale, press it back, straighten the leg. Exhale to lower, hover down. Inhale, start to straighten. Exhale to lower, pause here. Feel the legs working. Inhale, come back up to crescent. Exhale, bring the hands down, step back to plank. And then just lower the knees, coming to embryo pose here. So bringing our knees together, our feet together. Sink the hips back, either walk the arms forward or bring your hands back behind you. Forehead comes down to the mat. How can you let go of control a little more right here? All right, inhale, bring your hands back forward, come back to table. On your next exhale, tuck your toes, meet in downward facing dog. Take an inhale as you look forward. Exhale, slowly make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift, press your hands against your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, arms circle sweep up, reach tall. And then bring your hands back to heart center. We're gonna do some fun stuff with chair now. So start to sink your hips down and back, coming to chair. Your feet can either be hips width distance apart. This just feels better on my hips. But if you want to try the more traditional way, you can bring your big toes to touch and then have a little bit of space in between your heels. Just maybe try out both and see which one works better for you. And then bringing the hands to heart center or to your hips. Start to inhale as you stand back up. And then on your exhale, sink your hips down and back for chair. Inhale, stand back up. Exhale for chair. Start to press through your left foot. And then on your inhale, start to straighten your left leg, stand up, and then bring your right knee to your right hip, or the height of your right hip. So this is single leg Tadasana. On our exhale, we're gonna bring that foot back down, nice and slow, all the way back down to chair. Inhale, press through the right foot as you lift the left, single leg Tadasana, left side. Exhale, sink back down for chair. Inhale for the right leg, lift back up. If you get shaky or you fall out, that's a good sign. That means you're building muscle memory here. Slowly come back down to chair. Inhale, press up through the right leg, lift through the left. Awesome, we'll do one more on each side. So coming into chair, inhale the right. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale the left. And then just start to come back to standing mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, fill up with breath as you reach up. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Pause here, take a deep breath in, deeper breath out. Inhale, take a look up at your hands. Exhale, slowly make your way to the top. Bring your hands to heart center. Halfway lift with your hands at prayer. Elbows are away. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into your knees. Slowly roll all the way up to standing mountain pose. Roll the shoulder blades back behind you. Palms face forward. Inhale, arms circle sweep up. Exhale, bring the hands back down to your hips. Coming back into our chair pose. On your exhale, sink your hips down and back. From here, hug your belly in towards your spine. Start to come up to single leg Tadasana on the right side. And then we're going to take a huge step back with that right foot coming into crescent lunge. Keep your right heel lifted here. And then bring the arms back to frame the ears. Sink nice and low here. Feeling our legs working. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. One more breath in. On our exhale, we're going to start to lunge forward and try to come back to that single leg Tadasana on the right side. And then start to press the right foot back down into the mat and release the arms. Inhale, arms circle sweep up. Exhale, sink back down to chair with your hands at prayer or your hands resting on your hips. From here, inhale, start to straighten the right leg, bending the left. And then on our exhale, we're going to take that left leg all the way back. Big step back, left heel is lifted, arms are lifted. Deep breath in, deep breath out. On your next inhale, start to lunge forward, and on your exhale, kick up, bringing the left leg up towards the hip. And then exhale, sink back down into chair. Inhale, stand up, mountain pose here. Inhale, arms circle sweep up, reach tall. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, press your hands against your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly make your way all the way back up to standing mountain pose. And then bringing your shoulders back behind you. So now we're going to come in, we're going to build on top of that and come into warrior three. Sorry, it's really hot in this apartment right now. I have my heat off, but it's going to be a hot day today, I think. So we're coming back into chair, sinking your hips down low. And then we're doing that same thing of bringing our right leg high. Except on our exhale, we're going to lunge it back. Arms come up. And then hug your belly in towards your spine and start to reach your arms forward towards the front of the room as if you have a beach ball in between your hands. And then exhale, start to straighten the arms, lift the chest. Be protective of your low back here by really activating your right glute. On your inhale, reach forward. On your exhale, lift yourself back up. Doing a little bit of warrior 3 action here. You're going to start to lunge forward. So our arms are forward. And then you're going to start to kick off of this back leg. And then just drop the right toes back down. Start to straighten the left leg, kick off. And then lower back down. Just playing here. Be patient with yourself. If you want to shoot for warrior 3, start to kick off of the back leg. Straighten, straighten, straighten through the left. And then drag the heel back towards the back of the room as if you're kicking into the back of the wall. Arms can be forward or at heart center. And then come back to crescent lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands down into the mat. Step back to plank. Inhale, shift forward, lower the knees if you'd like. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale for cobra, peel the chest away. Exhale, tuck your toes, come back to child's pose. 2 breaths on your own here. Press yourself back up to table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, take a look forward. Exhale, make your way to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, slowly make your way all the way up. Shoulder rolls back behind you. On your next exhale, shoot your hips down and back for chair, bringing your hands to your heart or to your hips. Start to slowly walk, bring your left knee up to hip height, straightening the right leg. Take an inhale here. Exhale, shoot that leg back behind you, coming to crescent. So our right knee is bent, left leg is nice and straight. Arms can come back up by the ears, hug the belly in towards the spine. As you lunge forward, reach forward. Pretend that beach ball is still there. Inhale, bring the chest back up. Exhale, lunge forward. Inhale once more. Exhale, lunge forward. From here, we can start to kick off of that back leg and then bring ourselves back down to crescent. Just hopping with control here. Starting to straighten the right leg. That's our goal. And then if you want to come into warrior 3, leaving the arms by the ears or bringing them down to heart center, starting to straighten through the right leg, kicking into the back leg. When you're ready, slowly come back to crescent. Inhale, reach tall. Great job, guys. Exhale, hands come back down to the mat. Step back, lower the knees. Bring the knees out wide, big toes to touch, child's pose. And then staying active in this child's pose, so bringing your knuckles to the mat. Start to walk your fingertips over to the right side. And then over to the left. And then slowly walk yourself back. And then walk your hands back up to seated. From here, walk your feet in front of you. And then we're going to come back to our backs. So slowly lowering all the way down. Bringing our feet in. Hands rest by your sides. Back to your breath here. Start to take the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee. Opening the right knee to the right side of the room. That is a tongue twister. So coming into this figure 4 pose. If you want a little bit more, start to take your left foot off of the mat. You can bind your hands around your legs or not. If you are in this pose with your arms bound and your left foot off of the mat, make sure that you're not rounding in through your spine. If you are, just bring your left foot back down to the mat and stay here. We want our back completely flat on the mat, making our hips do most of the work. If you have the bind, release that now. Bring your left foot back down to the mat. And then from here, take your arms out to a T so they're out by the sides. And start to shift over to the left hip, bringing the right foot down onto the mat. If it doesn't make it all the way down, bring your left hip back slightly. You should feel this in the outside of the right hip. If you want to complete the twist, you can look over your right shoulder. Start to press through the left foot as you lift yourself back up, inhaling the right leg up towards the ceiling, one nice big stretch, and then exhale, place it back down. Start to bring your hands back in, and then take your left foot up and cross the left ankle over your right knee. Pausing here, or walking your right foot in, taking it off the mat, binding your hands around your legs. If you have the bind, start to release your right foot back down to the mat. Take your arms out to a T by their sides, and then start to shift over to your right hip, bringing your left foot down to the mat. Again, scooting the right hip back so that we can get our left foot down. And then taking the gaze over the left shoulder if you want to complete the twist or if your neck allows. These twists are really good for our digestive system. It can be really beneficial for sciatica or for low back pain. Start to press through the right foot as you bring yourself back up, inhaling the left leg up high, and then exhaling, bringing it back down. From here, take your hands back down by your sides, palms face down, and then walk your feet in so that they're touching and your knees are touching. And then from here, open your right knee up to the side while keeping your left knee where it is. Keep your foot planted in the left foot. And then start to slowly close your knee back in like a book. Pausing here, pressing through the right foot, and then opening the left knee to the side, keeping the right knee where it is. One side might feel completely different than the other. Feel free to shift your hips around until you can get a little comfortable. Start to slowly bring your leg back in. And then bring both knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Take a deep inhale as you bring your forehead to your knees. And then exhale, release it down. And then start to take your feet up towards the ceiling, both feet up here. And then bend your knees. Bring your knees in close to your armpits. And then bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. So coming into happy baby pose, we can take our hands around the back of our legs. We can also bring our hands to our shins or to the inside of the soles of the feet. Either way, bringing our knees closer into our armpits. You can also do a little rock, rocking your baby from side to side. I always feel like a monkey when I do this pose. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in towards your chest one last time. And slowly walk your legs out long, your arms out long. Coming into final Shavasana pose. Your palms can be facing up or they can face down. Just getting nice and cozy here. Doing any last minute adjustments. Starting to let go. Get heavy into the mat. Allowing the floor to hold you here. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When I let go of what I have, I receive what I need. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. When I let go of what I have, I receive what I need. Pausing here for the next few minutes, allowing yourself to fully relax. Doing a body scan from head to toe, noticing what spaces are still holding tension in your body. And then actively sending your breath there, asking it to relax. Where can you find more ease right now? Start to slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes, waking yourself back up. And then bring your arms overhead, point your toes, stretch through your fingers, through your toes, like you're getting out of bed first thing in the morning. And then roll over to your right side, hugging your knees into your chest, cradling your arm like a pillow. This is the time in our practice where we thank ourselves for taking out time to be present, to focus on our internal world, and to let go. Keeping your eyelids heavy or your eyes closed, push yourself back up to a seated position. And then bring your hands to your chest, bring your elbows out wide, and bow your chin down. When we let go of the need to control, we are able to receive what we need. Know that it's the choices that we make that define who we are far more than our abilities. Thank you for choosing to practice your yoga with me today. We end class in Namaste, which means the light, the student, the teacher in me bows humbly to the same exact light, student and teacher, in every single one of you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much. I would love your guys' feedback either on here or Instagram. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yes, Jenny, it's very hot.